All right, students, let's see, I just walked out of my experimental class and I forgot to record the Zoom recording for you who are taking the course at a distance. And so I'm going to recap what I said in class this evening to the face-to-face students, okay? Now today, we're going to go over how to write a results section, but first, I want to share my screen, if I can, with you. This is Canvas. Okay. I clicked on discussions. You see that? And here, there's a link that says introductions. You remember that when you introduced yourself to the class. You're going to click on that, and then let's say you need participants, okay? Maybe you don't have many friends or family members or coworkers to run in your study that you've already developed for signal detection theory. Well, what you want to do is reply, okay, and go ahead and post a little note to your classmates saying, I need participants for my study, and this is my email, okay? Please contact me and I will schedule a session with you that is at our mutual convenience, okay? So make sure you use this discussion section to go ahead and post your, your need for participants. And I want everybody to kind of participate in each other's studies in case you don't have enough family and friends and others to run in your studies, okay? So far, we have no introductory psychology students signed up for the study, and so it's important that you generate some participants, okay? So just make sure here under discussions in Canvas, you will post your need, okay, for participants. And, if you participate in theirs, then they should also participate in yours as well. Okay, so take some time and help out your fellow classmates, okay? All right, so that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. The next thing, in modules in Canvas, you remember that I posted this. This is a data sheet. So as you run participants, okay, what you're going to do, let's say participant one, you just got their data back. You're going to put in their age, and then you're going to put in a dummy code for their gender. Let's say the first person was a woman, okay? So I'll put a 2 there. Now down at the bottom, you may or may not have seen that the average age updates when you change stuff up here or when you enter stuff, okay? So let's say, I don't know, you have 12 participants. I'll just clear this section out. And let's say that you have participant number 13 that you just ran, okay? That person is 25 years old and they were a man, okay? You see how that automatically updated down here? Now, I'm going to take the formulas that were here for hit rate and false alarm rate and paste that formula right there. And then, for participant 13, let's say I've already calculated their hits, misses, false alarms, and correct rejections. Well, I'm just going to enter in their data here. Let's say they had 9 hits, but somehow they left out or they didn't answer yes or no to one of your slides, your signal slides, okay? So maybe you only had 2 misses instead of 3, which would be, the proper number because these 2 are supposed to add up to 12, okay? But you only had 11 responses for those signal trials, okay? Now, let's say they had 6 false alarms, and so they had 6 correct rejections, okay? Now, down at the bottom here, these are important numbers. You're going to see that these update as well. This is the average number of hits for the whole group, okay? How did I do that? I showed the face-to-face students Well, on your keyboard, you just click equals, and then up here where it says sum, you're going to change it to average. Okay, I want to get the average number of hits. So what do? I select all the numbers here and click OK, and then I get the average number of hits at the bottom down here. You see that? Okay, and then I can do that for each one of these columns and get the averages. All right. Now, let's talk about, I'm gonna keep this, and then I'm gonna write a results section based on this work. Now, we don't know what D prime and C are yet, so I'm just going to clear those contents, and I'm going to show you how to put in what is the overall group D prime and what is the overall C value. But I'll get to that after I start showing you how to write this results section that you're going to do right after you collect all your participants' information, okay? So I'm going to open up a blank Word document and I will share that on my screen. Here it is, okay? Now, let's say that you're just adding sections into your paper. You already have a cover sheet, an introduction with a predictions section. Then you have your methods section. What comes next? It's called results. Okay. Now, the heading for results is centered and it's bold. Okay. So you see how I did that. And now we start writing the results section. I'll indent. And what do we do? How do we write a results section? Well, usually the way I do it is I will tell the reader or remind the reader what the hypotheses were that we are testing, okay? And then we'll talk about the analysis that we did, and then we'll state the results of that analysis, okay? All right, so the reader will recall that the first hypothesis in this research was that participants will have low discriminability, okay? And let me make sure everything's double spaced. I'm just going to double space all this stuff. Double space, okay. They will have low discriminability because they are novices in determining whether a PET scan shows a normal brain or a cocaine addicted brain. Okay, now I'm using Zach's example that he gave me in class. This is his study, okay? So I'm just using this as an example for you, okay? Of course, you're going to have different items here, all right? But you'll talk about your first hypothesis, okay? All right, a signal detection theory calculator was accessed at, and now I'm going to look up the URL for that calculator that I showed you in a previous module. I think it was in week 2, okay? So let me stop sharing this for a minute, and I'm going to go to the internet and find that calculator if I can, okay? So let's go up here and add a tab, and I'm going to type in signal detection theory calculator, okay? And I think it's this one, Computer Site LLC. I'm going to pop that up, okay? Now this is the URL for that calculator. I'm just going to copy that URL, and I'm going to go back to my paper that I'm writing, and I will paste in that URL here, okay? So it shows, where I access the calculator. And now I'm going to state the results of the D prime statistic. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet first, and I'm going to note the number of hits, average number of hits, average number of misses, average number of false alarms, and average number of correct rejections just on a piece of paper. So let me do that here in my office. I have 7.54 hits. I have 4.38 misses, average. I have 4.08 average false alarms, and I have 7.92 average correct rejections. Okay, I have those written down now. Now I'm going to go to my calculator, the signal detection calculator, and I'm going to put those numbers in right here. 7.54 hits. Misses go here. 4.38 average. False alarms go here, 4.08. And then correct rejection average is 7.92. Okay. All right, all those numbers are correct? Yes, okay. So now all I have to do is type in or click the button that says submit. Okay. All right. Now, the first thing I want to report is that D prime is 0.751. Okay, 0.75 on my paper. Okay. D prime, oops, was 0. What was it again? Oh no, I forgot. Okay, let me go back here. 751. Okay, now. Oh, wait a minute. How did this come out as a big old URL? I'm sorry. I'm going to remove the hyperlink, and maybe I could just use that as a new paragraph. Okay. Remove hyperlink. All right, D prime was that. Okay. Now, the second hypothesis in this study was that participants would be liberally biased in their detection decisions. Okay, I'm just making this up as I go. I'll probably go back and change it and fix it, right? But I'm going to say the SDT calculator showed that C was equal to, and now I've got to go to my calculator. Let's see, and C is right here, and it's 0.037. Okay, don't forget that. And you can remind me, 0.037. Okay, put that in my results. 0.037. How's that? Okay, now, a couple of other things we need to put in the results section before we quit. Okay, hit rate was calculated at, and I'm going to show you in the online calculator where they actually automatically calculate hit rate. It's right here. You see where it says hit proportion? I'm going to write this down. 63.26. That's the hit rate. Right below that is the false alarm rate, which is 34. Okay. So I'm going to write these details down in my paper. All right, so hit rate was 63.26, and false alarm rate, was 34. Okay. One more thing. Okay. The averaged number of hits was M is equal to. Now, where do I get this information? All I have to do really is go back to my Excel spreadsheet at the bottom here, and you can see it's 7.53. I'm just going to write all these down so I can just type them right into my report, okay? Hits was 7.54 average. Oh, I've already got these written down because I had to put them in the calculator. Okay, duh. I'm getting tired. Okay, that's what's going on. All right, let me go back to my paper. They're already on this sheet that I wrote this stuff on. So number of hits was 7.54. Okay. For misses, misses, M is equal to 4.38. Period. False alarms were M is equal to 4.08, and correct rejections was M, or me, is equal to 7.92. Okay. I got to italicize those M's. Okay. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to do all these means and italicize those. Okay. Now, I have everything I need in this results section. Okay. Now, this is everything that I taught in the face-to-face class this evening, and I'll stop here. But I want you to use this this lecture as a reference point for when you collect all your data, set it up in the spreadsheet, and then do your calculations for the results section. Okay. And next week we'll talk about how to discuss the results. Okay. You see in results that I don't do any kind of interpretation or discussion there, right? Discussion goes in discussion. Okay. Don't forget that. All right, I am done, and I hope that you learned some stuff today, and I'll see you again next week, next Monday. Okay, so take care and have a good week, rest of the week.